Hi, we're about to start, everyone, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, my lovelies. So I'm Lizzie from Love from Lizzie, and today we are going live doing One Sheet Wonder with our brand new Festive Tales Card Kit. Thank you, everyone, for joining me already. Hello, hello, hello. So there are going to be 4 cards that we're going to be making from one sheet. I did design it late last night and I was like, oh, should I add an extra line in? But we'll talk about that when I'm showing you the options. I'm just going to run through a quick few admin bits. Our Wicked Witches Retreat will start shipping as of next week. Very excited about this. We'll be following up with an email to all of those lovely participants. I'm really looking forward to sharing with you our next designer. But this is our info pick, I suppose. And it's that we will be making 20 cards over 2 days, 10 cards on each day. You'll do 6 cards with me on each day, and then there'll be 2 guest designers doing 2 cards each. There will be breaks throughout the day. You can pause me at any time if I get too much. Because it's on YouTube, it will be there for replay afterwards. So if it gets too late, if it gets too much, you can jump out and you can jump back in. If you need to go and have brunch because you've got a friend coming by, then you can jump out and then just jump back in wherever it is to continue with us live and catch up on the missed, whatever works for you. But this is the method that we've been taking because it seems to be the most popular and user-friendly for people that aren't particularly techie. So let's go to the One Sheet Wonder now. So Liam will pull up the image. This is what we're going to be making today. So essentially it's a sheet of 6 by 6 that we've divided into quarters, and then we've made each quarter different. And what I was umming and ahhing over was that pink in the top right hand corner. I had to think about that, I'm not good with left and right. I was considering putting another diagonal line in that, and we may still do that, we'll see how we go. But I'm picking one of the sheets from our Festive Tales kit. So all along the bottom you can see the pattern papers, and they're all lovely. They all will work nicely, but I think I'm going to use the sheet that has the little gifts and the holly. This is our cardstock, so I will be using some of the matte mirror, which is the bottom sheet on that spread, as backers, just as a nice muted softness. And then from the kit we'll be using the super lovely dark green cardstock as well. So shall we start making something? Okay, so as mentioned, these are the lovely papers that you get in the kit. They're really lovely and vintage. This will work really well, as will the gifts. Many of them do because they're nice small patterns, but I decided to use this one. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Liam to put the One Sheet Wonder up on the screen at the same time, because I haven't drawn it on the back of this because it ends up confusing me. So I'm hoping that he's going to be able to split my screen now, which is probably a little bit mean. I probably should have warned him that I was hoping for that. Oh, look. Oh, he's done well. It's not quite square though, is it? That's going to annoy him, I'm sure. Right, so I'm going to cut my piece of paper. Let me move into the middle of my mat. Cut this piece of paper at 3 inches. And then I'm going to cut this one at 3 inches again. Now this is going to give me my yellow square. So that's done. That's the first one. And so these now are the purple ones, which are the bottom ones there. So we're going to cut these into 1 inch strips. And as I usually do, I'm going to make an effort to keep them in order that I chop them so that the pattern continues, because I think that does make such a difference. It makes it look really pretty. And then there's my third. So that's those two snipped. So now I need to do the pink and the green. So 3 inches for the pink, and then we're going to cut it diagonally this way. I'm flipping it upside down just so it's easier to see, but I'm putting the top corner on the blade and the bottom corner on the blade. Perhaps the close-up camera would help. I'm really trying to make him work today. Right, here we go. So if you keep your eye on this very top corner here and on the bottom corner there, I'm going to line those up on the edge of that bottom blade and then hold them in position. It might be easier to do this with scissors if you prefer, to make sure that you get it corner to corner. But now, what I can't make my mind up on is whether or not we should corner to corner them the other way as well. I'm going to leave them like this for now. And I hope that someone at home does it corner to corner and shows us. And then this last, oh, he's taken away my one sheet wonder. He's a meanie. Thank you, dear. Okay, so now these are 1.5 inch squares. So I'm going to line those up. And then 1.5, 1.5. And 1.5. There we go. So we have everything now chopped for our 4 cards. Oh gosh, now you know what I've done, don't you? I don't know which way around these go. I've made a mess of it all. To be fair, actually, the card that I had in mind, it doesn't matter for this one. But, right, so I have all my pieces snipped at the top, so we don't need the one sheet wonder anymore. Thank you, dear. I'm going to get in trouble today. Right, so all my pieces are chopped at the top. I have got, because we all know I like a top folding card base. So it's a sheet of 8.5 by 11 split down the middle lengthways. And then I score it at 5.5 inches. Give that a bit of a press. And because I'm a little bit organised today, I made the other ones earlier. So these are just white card bases. Now, I'm going to start with the biggest piece of pattern paper. Now, I did chop some gold, some of the gold matte mirror. Okay, and the one that is the longest, this one, I did these at the gold at 3.25 inches so that it would have a nice chunky border around the gold, because I thought that would be pretty. And I am going to just wet glue this straight on. Okay. You could use anything for this. You could use tape runner, you could use double-sided tape, whatever it is that works for you. But something that I have found of recent is I found my old brayers, and when I'm using wet glue, just pressing over it, it just makes it so much smoother, and I know that it's had a really good press. So that's brilliant. I knew there was something that I'd left upstairs. It's my foam tape, dear. Big roll. Sorry. I was out this weekend and I have a very big roll, you know, obnoxiously large roll of foam tape. And I've left it upstairs. So we're going to pretend for a minute that this is floating. And then we are going to have a look. Now we've got the ephemera that's in the kit, which I thought would be really pretty. And we've also got the critter ephemera. So, okay, so The look on his face is that he can't find it. Would you like to hold it so you can... Okay, that's not ideal, is it? Can you look in that one? So this is the ephemera that comes in the kit. Oh, it wasn't upstairs after all. Sorry, dear. This is the ephemera that comes in the kit, which all of it works really, really, really nicely. So if we just pull out a couple of pieces from... Oh, I love the snow globes. I love all of them, to be perfectly honest. I love the cupcake as well. Let's choose... Let's choose the hot cocoa. That's really nice. And then I'll use the cookie jar on another one. And then we'll use critters on the other two. I think that'd be nice. Just to mix it up a little bit. Okay. So let's pop some foam tape. Don't know how you could lose it. It's so big. Okay. Let's just start some assembling. Now, I did consider, oh, pop that there. Within the kit, we get this really lovely deep green cardstock. So we could, of course, add in some green, which would frame this really nicely, in fact. But I'll do it on a different one. On this one, I'm going to keep it clean and straightforward because it has a lot of the pattern, because it has a big piece. There is quite a lot of white space. I was just about to say there isn't a lot of white space, but there is. But because it's got such a large piece of the lovely detailed pattern, we're going to make sure that it's the right way up, because we all know I like to do that. Pop this down. And then I'm going to put glue under this part and foam under this part so that it doesn't sag. So we're going to have foam down here. And then we're going to put some of this handy glue just along those top pieces. Okay. There we go. So you are free to, let's do some decoration. We're not just here for assembly, are we? We're here to make them look pretty. So I'm going to take the mini twinkle this is the variety bundle. God, that's stuck in really well. Great workmanship. We've had some assistance this month. Okay. So I'm just going to pop a couple of these little twinkly bits within the pattern paper, just to add a little bit of sparkle. You can never have too much sparkle, can you? And I'm going to add some of them in different sizes to give a little bit of variety as well. Going to stick a couple not on the pattern paper just to pull in a little bit of intrigue onto that vast white space. Now, as I say, we can stamp sentiments on here, or we can leave them plain, because there's a lot of different holiday options. There's Happy Christmas, there's festive greetings, there's all of the varieties. So I'm going to leave this one blank. But some glitter on the whip would be nice, or on the candy canes. The endless options of decoration, as we all know. Right, card number 2. Already scored, ready to go. And we are going to do these 3. Now, this one, just trying to remember which way. No, excuse me. Should have organised my desk a little better. Okay, so these 3, I cut one piece of gold, and I did it with just the slitheriest of spaces in between, so that it would be just a hint of the gold. But I will give you the measurements of this in case you are wanting to replicate exactly. This one is 3 1/4 inches by 3 1/16. So really, really tight. And when attaching these, start by looking in the bottom corner, or the top corner if you prefer the top to the bottom. Once you know you've got that one in place, then you leave the same amount of gap to the next piece and the same amount of gap to the next one. And then they will all fit on, but they're very tight. And usually I like to leave a bigger border, but sometimes I think when there's like this, there's so much pattern going on, it looks really pretty for there to be just that tiny little hint of gold around the edges. Using wet glue when you've got such tight margins is definitely a helping hand, because it means that you can slide it a little bit. If it's a little bit too tight, then having the wet glue does give you that tiny little bit of play. But there we go. That's all now stuck down. I'm going to give that a little squash. There we go. So similar to the first one, obviously that was solid, but adding those little shiny bits in the middle does make a difference. So we're now going to choose how we're going to present our cookie jar. I think I'm actually going to stick this piece flat, and I will lift the cookie jar. Right. Putting this one a little bit lower than the first card, just so that there's a little bit of variation. I'm using up my leftover pieces. I often overcut with my foam tape, and then we'll just pop the pieces that I've cut extra on the side of the roll, because we all know what I'm like about throwing anything away. Okay. There we go. And we have another one. They're so cute, and these are really good if you've got a lot of holiday cards to make. These will get them done for you. Now, obviously these are the ones that I don't know how I managed this. That one definitely goes there. That can't go. Ah, that one goes there. Oh, do we have it? Ah, that one goes there. I worked it out. Not that it matters for this one, but we did work it out. Okay, so I've chopped some little pieces here. These ones are, where am I? 1 5/8 square. So they are ever so slightly larger than the 1 1/2 inch. Here we go. Oh, wet glue to the rescue. So I'm just going to attach these all together. Has everybody started making their holiday cards? Are they all done? Are they all posted? How are we all with it? Or do we not do holiday cards? I think I really enjoy making them, but I tend to always send them out a little bit too late. So, right. The reason that I wasn't too bothered about the repeating pattern on this particular one is because I'm not going to put them in a grid, which is one of the really pretty ways to use these pieces. Let me show you what I mean. To have them like this. That does look really nice. But I decided to pull out the postage dies. Now, these are one of our nested stitch dies, and I think Liam might be able to show you these actually. And there's quite a few different sizes of them. There we go. I've used the second from largest. The largest one is the size of your A2 card base. So I've used the one size down, and that, as you can see, oh, if I have it the right way up, sits really nicely with a white border around the edge. So let's stick this on. Okay, now I was thinking that these four, I'm going to attach these two flushed and then these two raised, just as something a little bit different. So, in fact, let's lift you up and then we'll stick you flat, and yes, that's what we're going to do. Okay, a little bit of foam. As you can see, a large tape roll is required in this house because I get through it like no one's business. Okay, so there's one, there's two. Let's put the bottom one down first, because then we know what sort of spacing we've got left. Or equally, they don't have to be. In fact, I really like the look of that. Okay, taking the backing off of the wrong one. So I'm going to put you there. And then this one, I'm going to have to put a little bit of extra tape in this bottom corner because I'm going to lift this even further. So this top corner is going to stick on here, meaning this bottom corner needs to have double the foam. So down in the bottom, I'll put an extra piece of foam. There we go. So that went off in a completely different direction. Let's have a look at this critter ephemera. Absolutely melts me. It's adorable. Look, little mouse reading a book, or a piggy with a carol book. Oh, the kitten. Look at the little kittens. I'm in love with all of these. They're just too cute. Giraffe with a scarf. Little fox. Oh, I think I'm going to go for the kitten with the cup of tea. It could be the llama with the reading glasses. Yes, no. Oh, and then there's the lovely dog. There's too many pretty little critters. So this needs to have all of the foam tape up behind to hold her up slightly. She's going to need a real good bit of stability back there. So I will get my tape. And I will just keep attaching. And she's going to need 3, so I'm going to take the backing off. I've just stuck 2 pieces together and then I'm going to stick it on a 3rd. And I think that will work. Now I've got backing on both sides, so I can sort of do a test to see how that sits. And that is about the right height for her. So this goes back on the roll. And now I just have to work out the placement of the tape to make sure that it doesn't get hindered by that corner. So if I stick that there, she can sit on top. So we're going to do that. We're going to take the backing off, pop it down, and then I'm going to pop some glue behind this bit, which will sit here. It doesn't matter, you could cover the whole of the back in glue because it's only going to sit on the foam tape, which is sticky anyway. So there we go. Look at our little cutie. Isn't she lovely? So, number 3. So number 4 is my card base. Now I chopped a piece of gold and I wasn't sure which direction I was going to go in, so I left it nice and large. Now we could attach it like this. We could divide it again in the middle and spread them further. Or we can do what I think I'm going to do, and that is we're going to chop this and we're going to separate the 2. So again, on the close-up camera, you're going to see that I'm lining up this top corner and this bottom corner on the base blade. So make sure that even once you've got the first one in place and you then put the second one in, double check to your first, because that's a favourite of mine. So now you can see we have 2 lovely triangles. Now this, should have measured it, I apologise, is 3.5 inch square. So I did an extra 1/2 inch to be able to leave such a nice border of the gold around the 2. So let's attach these on. You can, of course, also die cut sentiments and bits and pieces from the middle, which of all of these gold pieces, as long as you pop something in the negative space so that your card doesn't sag, it is a good way of making your specialty papers and cards just go that little bit further. Okay. So there we go. That's those. Pop some foam in. How am I doing on time? Am I going to be told off? Am I doing well? What's the verdict? You're not going to tell me? I've been making for 30 minutes and I'm on my 4th card. I think that makes me a bit of a legend, doesn't it? No, I'm not asking for accolade from all of the lovely viewers. It's from He Who Moans. Okay. Tiny bit more because we don't want it to sag. Right, here we go. remove all the backing. And again, in fact, you know what? Let's pop one in on at least one of them. So these are card panels, so these are 5.5 by 4.25. I am just going to take it down to 4" by 5.5, which means, of course, I need to get my... In fact, no, I can just chop off 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, sorry. If I can find my ruler and my pencil. I love this little trimmer for how handy it is, but I also very much dislike how inconvenient it is that it just stops at 4. Okay, so I'm just going to chop off 1/4 inch off of either end, so that we now have just a little border. I'm going to stick this one flat because we've got lift behind the triangles. Very carefully positioned glue, as you can see. The notion of coffee is speeding me up. I haven't had any coffee yet today. Okay, checking with the right way up. Now, I'm going to stick the similar width in again from the edge. And then I'm going to do the same at this bottom corner. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so just by adding that piece of green in, now we have the lovely fun job of picking a very cute little festive animal. Oh, I can't choose between them. They're so pretty. How about we choose the woofer? Yeah. I'm going to choose the doggy, and I'm going to put some foam up here and glue behind here so that he can just sit in that bottom piece. I could put him in the middle, but I don't feel he's quite big enough to take a big centre stage. There's too much of a gap around him. So we could perhaps, oh, look at the polar bear. We could hunt out a larger piece if we wanted. For example, this one, the fact that it's square would sit that really nicely in the middle. Or perhaps the badger. I used to love Wind in the Willows. Badger was my favourite. Yes, no, we're gonna go with the lovely woof. So glue behind here and foam tape here, and I'm only going to put 2 layers of foam behind because there is the cardstock, the lift and the paper. So if we do this, nearly. This is a bit of a tip. I always try to create walls around the foam tape so that when I'm guiding that top piece in, I know that it's largely going to land in the right spot and not twisted. Okay, so we're going to attach this directly behind this edge. We'll add glue all along here. Remove that other backing piece. Making sure the chair is square. we go, let's pop these critters off to the side so that we can enjoy those another day. So we have got Woofer reading a Christmas story, Pussycat with a cup of hot cocoa or coffee as the case may be. We have a cup of peppermint hot cocoa and some cookies. So you've got all of the festive favourites there. And as you can see, adding in the green really does make a difference to just leaving it as white. So which one of these is your favourite? We can, of course, also twinkle them. You can never have too many twinkles. And doing this all together at the end probably makes it go an awful lot faster. But, so that's the largest one. Then we move down to the next size. And I've only used one of the varieties. Obviously, you've also got the mini circles in racing green. Oh, we've already done that card. And then the tiny silver mirror stars, which are really, really handy. I love the mini stars. They're very, very pretty indeed. Okay, and now you can go there into the smallest. When I think about where to place them too much, that's when they start to look really regular. I am not a naturally random placer. I need to not be looking too hard at what I'm doing and just go, yep, it will look nice there. There we go. Right, so we have 4 decorated. So this is the first of the One Sheet Wonder chops. Then this was the one below it. And then top right. And then bottom right. Oh no, other way around, sorry. But yeah, there were 4 cards for today. And I feel like that was in quite good time for me. So thank you very much for joining me. We will be back again next Tuesday, which we will be in the throes of shipping. By that time, you will have seen at least 1 more teacher, if not 2, plus we have got some more sneak peeks of the cards that you're going to make in the Wicked Witches class. So lots of exciting things, kits on their way, class kits on their way. Yes, and my little man is going back to school tomorrow, which is going to make things a little bit more routine, which will be wonderful. But anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to see you again next week. By all means, if there is a particular video that you enjoy, like if you enjoy the One Sheet Wonder videos or the 5 in a Flash or whatever it is, please do pop it in the comments, and I will make sure that they get pulled round into our rotation. Anyhow, make something beautiful. Bye.